Hello and welcome to Functional Skills Maths. Today we're looking at the volume of spheres. I'm just going to share my screen with you. And this is another level 2 topic, volume of spheres. There we go. So just as a reminder, volume is the amount of space that a shape occupies. So we're thinking about things like how much water a swimming pool can take, how much coffee or tea a cup can hold, how much oxygen can be in a tank. And all these different shapes require different formulas to be able to work out the volume correctly. Now, today we're looking at spheres, which, as I say, is a level 2 topic. And so for a sphere, there is a certain formula that you need to know. And it looks quite technical, but as long as we're running it through correctly, then we'll be absolutely fine with how to calculate the volume here. Now, it looks like this: 4/3 pi r cubed. Now, that might look a bit too technical, maybe. Might look a bit, complicated, perhaps. But we'll just run through that now. We'll just explain each bit at a time, and then hopefully you'll see that it's, even though it's quite long, it's fairly straightforward. So to start with, what we do in the calculator, because this would only appear on a calculator question, is treat that line here where it says 4/3. That line we can read as a divide symbol. So it becomes 4 divided by 3 times by pi, which, as you'll know, is 3.14, and then times by the radius, times by the radius, and then times by the radius once again. So this is what we would do in the calculator. Once we understand what the radius is, that is the only variable in this operation, really. It's also much more accurate to input this into the calculator every time. Don't try and make any shortcuts by trying to memorize what 4 divided by 3 is. It's 1.33333 reoccurring, but you're never going to put all of those 3's in. The chances are we'd abbreviate that to 1.33, but unfortunately, if you do that, you'll then just slightly affect the overall final answer. So in all honesty, this is the shortest way of doing this in the calculator, is just by following this sum through from beginning to end every time for every new calculation that you might have to make. Let's put a measurement on this sphere so that we can see an example in progress. Let's say that the radius is 5 centimeters. So what we would do in the calculator is 4 divided by 3 times by 3.14 times by 5 times 5 times 5. And that would give us the answer of 523.33 centimeters cubed. And cubed, again, that little 3 on the end, because we're dealing with volume and capacity. It's a 3-dimensional object, so that's why we've got a little 3 on the end there. Now, you may want to take a moment and press pause and just look this slide over until you feel that you're confident with it. But this is essentially the process from beginning to end, really. It's probably the longest formula to carry out in some ways for working out the volume. But just run it through as it says in that symbol. This formula will be given to you in the exams if you're required to use it, so you don't have to memorize it as such, but it will help to have that confidence with just reading it through. Okay, let's have a look at some examples, and you can test yourself to see how well you've understood this formula now. So here are 2 examples on the screen. I'm just going to bring up the formula over there for you. As I say, it will be given in the exams. So we're looking at the volume here of 2 spheres. The first one actually is the kind of size of a professional size 5 football, just out of interest. 11 centimeters is the radius. So let's see if you can calculate how much air is in those Premier League footballs. I'll give you 10 seconds. See if you can work out the first one here. Okay. Well, how did you do? 4 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 11 times 11 times 11 should give you an answer of 5,572.45 centimeters cubed. Wow, that's a lot of air in those footballs. Okay, and then I'm going to give you 10 seconds to look at the next one. Obviously, feel free to press pause, and we'll run through the answers shortly. Okay, so this time 4 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 34 times 34 times 34 gives you an answer of 164,552.747 meters cubed. Try saying that with one breath. Okay, hopefully you're there and you're confident with this formula now. Feel free to just replay this video if you want a bit more practice on this. Have a look at the worksheets as well. Send them across to your tutor so they can check the answers for you. And hopefully you'll be confident with this process. But well done. Today you have learned how to calculate the volume of a sphere. So very well done to you. And thanks for joining me. I wish you all the best with the rest of your functional skills.